Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Migrant criminals drifting to Manchester. Police in Manchester say they are responding with intelligence-driven operations to concerns about migrant criminals committing crimes in the South Central Parish. Speaking at last Thursday's monthly meeting of the local municipality, head of the Manchester Police Division, Superintendent Lloyd Darby, said 2 murders, 3 robberies, 3 break-ins and a shooting incident have occurred in Manchester since the start of the year. The shooting incident, which happened in St. Toulouse, resulted in a man being injured, with police intelligence suggesting that it stemmed from another incident in Folker Road, Clarendon. We continue to seek to protect our borders because we realize that some of these incidents really stem from neighboring parishes, said Darby. He said that the Manchester police have been working with neighboring police divisions as criminals continue to network. The migration of criminals have always been a concern. We know that people meet when they are incarcerated and form relationships and bonds, so they go all over Jamaica. We are attacking their network in terms of intelligence and in terms of operations on our roads, which is a big part of how we police, he explained. Moreover, councillors from both political sides are worried about the trend. Councillor for the Byfield Division People's National Party, Maria Mitchell, called on the police to increase their presence with dragnets. He added that he believes there is a coordinated between criminals, especially on southern parts of Manchester-St. Elizabeth border. The migration of criminals seems to be a concern, and I would love to have some of these increased police presence on our major thoroughfares. I remember when I used to come up Spur Tree, whether late or early at night, police have dragnets, and I haven't seen them in the longest while, he said. Councillor for the Perth Division, Jamaica Labour Party, Claudia Morant-Baker, said she was shocked to have heard 7 gunshots in her backyard in the St. Toulouse incident. In response, Darby said the police manpower is being challenged by officers contracting COVID-19. We continue to work with the reality of COVID-19. It is affecting the manpower at the station. As we speak, there are several officers who are in isolation or quarantine as a result of the virus, he said. He added that the police continue to enforce the provisions of the Disaster Risk Management Act. The deployment of police officers is impacted by the virus, but we continue internally to encourage our members to observe the protocols and to get vaccinated, he said. In reflecting on some crime statistics from last year, Darby said 2021 was a challenging year. It was a year where we saw an increase in most of our 7 categories of major crimes. There were 444 crimes committed, compared to 361 for 2020, he said. There were 33 murders committed in 2021, the same as 2020. Shooting decreased by 3, with 32 recorded in comparison to 35 in 2020. Robbery saw an increase with 99 incidents compared to 74, and reported cases of rape increased 21 compared to 9 in 2020. Further, Darby said in previous years more crimes were committed overall, with the highest being 654 in 2016. However, when we look at a trend in our crimes for the past 6 years, from 2016 onward to 2021, we see where although we have an increase, the overall crimes for 2021, it was still the second lowest period in that 6 year. So only 2020 had more than 2021. When we look at the crime trends, Darby explained, adding that the 2020 lockdowns kept people indoor and resulted in less opportunity for criminals to commit crimes. Meanwhile, Darby said 20 illegal firearms were seized in 2021, 4 more than in 2020, whereas 34 stolen vehicles were recovered, mostly through the use of trackers. The swiftness with which the perpetrators were able to move the vehicles, it is as if they had a key or some sophisticated system that disables the alarm, he said. Some of the vehicles were able to recover through tracking devices, and that is a good method to protect your vehicle. We encourage people who, having spent millions to purchase a vehicle, to spend a little more to protect it. Brigade reports increase in home fires, affected families still picking up pieces. As many of the 3,449 Jamaicans left homeless due to fires between 2020 and 2021 can attest, recovering from a blaze that consumed almost everything you own is not easy. Invariable, after a fire, There are anguished appeals for help and a frantic scramble to find a place to stay. The heart-wrenching stories, especially the ones where children are involved, have become far too frequent. According to data from the Jamaica Fire Brigade, home fires increased by roughly 5.79% in 2021, up to 1,773 from the 1,676 blazes of 2020. In their SOTI week, 2,464 adults and 985 children. Among those still picking up pieces more than a year after a fire is 58-year-old Geneva Darby. She lost everything when her Buck Heights Clarendon home went up in flames in December 2020. Since the house burnt down, I haven't been doing well. I have been sick and I just don't feel like myself anymore. I even have high blood pressure now because I keep on thinking about how I lost everything, Darby reported. She was at church when she got the call that there was a fire at her house. Very little help has come her way, she said, and she has been unable to rebuild. She is still hoping that will change. I'm now moving from one family member to another, and it is so stressing because staying with family sometimes is not the best thing. I need my own little place, she added wistfully. 6 months after Darby's life was forever changed by an unwelcome blaze, Dean Grant also lost his Arnett Gardens house to fire. He too said he is still struggling to get back on his feet and has received very little help. But unlike Darby, he has made some progress. With his salary from a maintenance job at an apartment complex in the corporate area, he has managed to buy a few items that will be used to make his house habitable once more. Me hustle and try to buy some windows, and me ask around and get some paint, but me don't really get much help. So the place is no comfort because me don't have any bed or stuff like that. Me mostly stay at my girlfriend's place since it happened, the 48-year-old reported. However, he is determined not to allow the fire to completely derail his life. Me trust God, so me don't really let it affect me. I just want to move on. Most times when I watch and see how things reach other people and they get back on their feet, me just get that motivation he shared. It may be a bit harder for children to bounce back. Sometimes my son just looks sad, and when me ask him if him alright, him say, "Mommy, me want me house." That just hurt me to know that my son is uncomfortable and I am not in a position to help him, a distraught Shadeen Harvey said after losing their family house to fire. According to data provided by the Jamaica Fire Brigade, 502 children's lives were changed by fire in 2021. Harvey's 7-year-old son, Malik Bailey, and his 3-year-old brother, Shavoy Bailey, are among them. After an August 26 fire gutted their Care Valley, St. Anne house, they spent many nights in the family car, which is also used as a taxi during the day, the family's main source of income. The two young boys are now living in a rented house with their mother and their father, Secret Bailey. They are all struggling to adjust to their new reality. The fire affected us a lot because we have to start all over, and it is not easy. We got some help from people who saw this story to buy food and such, which we are grateful for, Harvey said. We are still renting at the moment because I have to think about making the children comfortable, but I would still want back our own place, she added. Also among minors affected by fire are 46-year-old Anthony Kirkland's 3 children, who are 7, 9, and 4 months old. They, along with Kirkland and his wife Tamara, are staying with a female member of the church they attend. Their loss is still fresh from a December 17, 2021 blaze that razed their home in Great Pond, Ocho Rios. Our relatives and church family fall in, and I give a helping hand, for which we are grateful. We also know things are going to get better in time, Kirkland reported, citing the significant number of people who have lost property and belongings to fire over the years. Acting Public Relations Officer at the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Kerry Gale Forbes, is hoping Jamaicans will be more cautious while at home. Let us remember that fires are dangerous. Do not leave cooking unattended. Do not overload your electrical circuits, as this can cause a fire. While you work from home, also remember to be vigilant and keep fire-starting items away from children, he urged. New St. Elizabeth Police Chief, Lord's predecessor. Even as the country faces an upsurge in murders, New head of the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Dwight Daly, is confident that the South Central Parish will continue to benefit from the gains of his predecessor. Daly took office on January 3rd, replacing Superintendent Narda Sims, who had left the division since June 2020. With St. Elizabeth recording a 33% reduction in major crimes in 2021 compared to 2020, Daly is hopeful that intensive operations will continue that trend. He lauded Superintendent Sims and the division for attaining the reductions. I believe that is very commendable, so I intend to continue on those gains. I tend to ramp up my operations, he said. Speaking with reporters at the St. Elizabeth Police Headquarters in Black River last Thursday, following a tour of the police station in the parish with Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang and Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, Daly said he intends to keep police officers motivated. There will be intensive operations right across the parish. I intend to keep a close relationship with my stakeholders, and I also want to do everything possible to keep my team motivated because with a motivated workforce, you can achieve great things, he said. He added that there will be robust operations and thorough investigations. Dr. Chang and the Commissioner pledged their continued support to the St. Elizabeth Police, and disappointed to last month's killing of 2 Chinese nationals in Bellevue, close to Southfield, to depict the cold-blooded nature of criminals. This is a reflection of the type of criminals we have. Who could go in there? People are not resisting. They could easily do a robbery, but they still want to kill, and that is what we are facing across the country. This is not normal behavior. This is the behavior of people who are intent on creating mayhem and who want to create as much fear and terror in the community as possible, he said. We have some idea who they, the criminals, may be, and we are after them. There are a number of others who have been rampant since the beginning of this year. I think it is important that I give a certain amount of reassurance to people who are listening and watching, he added. Dr. Chang reiterated that Jamaica is a major drugs and gun transshipment port. We have over 300 potential entry points and our coastline, and we are in the middle of the Caribbean. We are a very central trading point for illegal activity. People involved in drug trading bring guns into Jamaica, he said. He said criminals involved in lottery scamming and advanced credit fraud all buy guns to protect themselves and their gangs. He added that the government invested heavily in the Maritime, Air and Cyber Command MACC to crack down on smugglers. It was a very costly operation, but the Coast Guard is the principal policing tool on the coastline. The police have a marine division, but that is more inshore, and we are coastal, he said. In recent months, the MACC has made major breakthroughs, including a 1.1 billion cocaine bust off the coast of Black River last November that resulted in 3 men being arrested and the interception of a vessel with illegal guns and ammunition last December off the coast of the St. Elizabeth, which resulted in 2 fishermen being arrested. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.